Joining me now is Ambassador Mark Regev, senior advisor to Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, of course. It's good to see you. Ambassador, there's
good
a lot
to be
of
with
tension.
you, Andrea.
Well, it's good to be with you, and it's at a critical time. You've got a cabinet meeting coming up tonight, a lot on the plate, on the table there. This is all predicated on achieving your goal of eliminating Hamas, and that's something that most militaries and other leaders around the world, including the U.S., don't think is really entirely possible.
Andrea, it's not going to be easy, but it's doable. I mean, the United States in Iraq and Syria was successful in destroying the territorial enclaves that ISIS controlled. You recall that. You covered that story. And just as those territorial enclaves controlled by terrorists were removed, we believe we can remove the territorial enclave that Hamas controls, which is in the Gaza Strip. And we're already seeing good signs in the north, where our operation started earliest. We've seen the Hamas machine beginning to crack. We're seeing more and more Hamas terrorists come out and surrender. We're destroying the tunnels there. We've taken out senior commanders there. In the south, because we started there a bit later, that could take longer. We have to be patient, but this is a war that we will win.
Of course, the difference was that there were no tunnels in Mosul or Fallujah, and Mosul took 9 months. 9 months is a long time, but in fact, the Prime Minister is projecting a very long war, months and months more fighting. You're having to withdraw some troops, partly because of the economic, these are reservists, and you need it economically to get some of these people back to their jobs, domestic jobs.
So you're right in your question. Hamas has been ruling the Gaza Strip for 16 years. That's much longer than ISIS. And they've had a chance to build in and all this subterranean terror network, all the tunnels, the bunkers, the underground fortresses. They've had a chance to do this. But we will do this job. We will take apart their military machine. We will remove them from power from Gaza. And the truth is we don't have a choice, because we Israelis, we simply refuse to live next to this terror enclave in constant fear of terrorists storming across the border and massacring our people, murdering our children. No people should have to live that way, and the Israeli people refuse to do so.
Now, we do have some breaking news, so I want to ask you about this strike in Beirut, in downtown Beirut. According to our Israel producer, Nawaz Shabari, quoting a Hamas political leader, a Hamas spokesman, that Salah al-Aruri, a senior Hamas official, has been killed in an Israeli strike in Lebanon's capital. This is according to Dr. Bassem Naim, a Hamas political leader. Can you confirm that?
I've seen the reports. Israel has not taken responsibility for this attack, but whoever did it, it must be clear that this was not an attack on the Lebanese state. It was not an attack even on Hezbollah, the terrorist organization. Whoever did this did a surgical strike against the Hamas leadership.
Well, clearly it wasn't Hezbollah or another group rooted in Beirut that would take out a Hamas leader, also backed by Iran. Who besides Israel could have done this?
So we can speculate if you like, but let's be clear. Israel has not taken responsibility. And I think it should be clear, Israel has in the past, of course, dealt with terrorists when they're in foreign countries. And the truth is, I think you'll find that my prime minister, my defense minister, my chief of staff have all said in the past that terrorist commanders involved in killing Israeli civilians, anyone involved in the October 7th massacre, is a legitimate target. Anyone who kills Israelis can expect the Israeli state and the Israeli armed forces to ultimately reach them. But that's a general statement of policy. It's got nothing to do with this current situation, the specific situation in Beirut, which I have no comment on.
Understood. But don't you expect that a strike in downtown Beirut might lead to a Hezbollah response and open that northern front, which, of course, Israel and the United States have been very concerned against a second front opening to the north?
So I think it's obvious. Obviously, in Lebanon, there are many Hezbollah targets, but whoever did this strike was very surgical and went for a Hamas target because Israel is at war. Whoever did this has a gripe with Hamas. It's once again, whoever did this, it's not an attack on the Lebanese state. It's not an attack on the Hezbollah terrorist organization. Whoever did this, it's an attack on Hamas. That's very clear.
Let me ask you about the cabinet meeting tonight and this plan for local Palestinian groups, tribes, clans to take over. It didn't work, as Josh Lederman was pointing out, back in the 80s. What makes you think it could work now?
So it's clear that we want a situation when Hamas is defeated, when their military machine has been destroyed, and when they no longer rule the Gaza Strip, that we want to see something better. And that something better will be based on two principles. Gaza will be demilitarized. We don't want to see the same sort of military capabilities that were in Gaza up until now, their ability to storm across the border and kill our people, that shoot rockets into Israel. I mean, you in the United States, you welcomed in New Year's Eve, I presume, with fireworks in Israel at the stroke of midnight. The beginning of 2024, we had rocket barrages. Some 30 rockets were fired into central and southern Israel. It wasn't necessarily a good way to start the year, so we refuse to live that way any longer. And so Gaza will be demilitarized. And the other principle is we want to see Gaza de-radicalized. This hatred for Israel, teaching children that they should kill Jews, that they should becoming a martyr for this crazy extremist cause of Hamas, teaching people to value death as almost a death cult, that you should commit suicide, you should put explosives on your body and go out and kill Jews. This sort of thing that is part of the Hamas credo, and they've been ruling Gaza, as you know, as I said before, for 16 years. And so we have to see Gaza de-radicalized. And we've seen different societies in the past, whether following the Second World War, or other examples of societies where you've had a radical regime and you've destroyed that radical regime, and then you have to de-radicalize. And so we want to see that the schools in Gaza don't teach murder and terror and hatred. We want to see the mosques in Gaza not preaching a message that we have to rise up and kill the Jews in some sort of holy war. We want to see the media in Gaza not promoting hatred and military towards Jewish people and Israelis. In other words, we want to see a change in Gaza that is deeper, not just a change at the top, but we want to see a long-term change in what people in Gaza are seeing, learning.
Well, can you accomplish this with fewer civilian casualties, because the death toll has been horrendous? Casualties on both sides. You've just suffered more IDF casualties as well. But the thousands, you know, you can argue about the number from the Palestinian Health Authority, but it's already 22,000, they say. It's still in the thousands. And I also want to ask you about the Supreme Court decision and whether you believe that the Likud in the Knesset can pass a law to try to reverse that.
So on two very different issues. On the first issue, actually, I think we're already seeing signs that Hamas is increasingly discredited in Gaza. Not because the Gazans have an affinity with Israel. I understand there are historic...
But what about the civilian casualties at the cost of this war?
Despite the historic animosity that many Gazans feel towards Israel, they see the destruction around them. They've had to, as you've reported, they've had to leave their homes to get out of harm's way, to get away from the fighting. They've seen, as I say, the destruction, and they understand and they know better than most who started this war, who brought this upon them, who, in fact, when there was a ceasefire, which President Biden helped us get so we should see some hostages released, they know who ended the ceasefire in order because they refused to release more hostages.
I've got to tell you that, I mean, we're going to have to move on to the other issues, but all of our reporting from our teams there are that the people there are not, of course, Hamas is responsible for the continued fighting, but that they are blaming Israel in large measure because the large munitions are coming in. The people have been displaced and then told to go to safe zones, and then the safe zones are attacked. I mean, there's terrible suffering on both sides. But
I'm seeing increasingly, I'm seeing increasing. I'm telling you, I see information that is unequivocal. We're seeing signs that as Hamas's authoritarian rule of the Gaza Strip is now being challenged by Israel, that there are cracks in their control over society. We are seeing more and more expressions of pent-up anger by the population, once again, not out of love of Israel, but out of love of themselves, that Hamas has brought this disaster upon the people of Gaza. And with Hamas discredited when this is over, that's a good field for maybe more moderate voices to grow. That's a good way to start a situation. I mean, similar things happened at the end of the Second World War. Where did radicalism and extremism lead? It's a dead end. And when people understand that, that's a good basis, once again, for a more moderate and pragmatic leadership to emerge.